Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to tell you, we brought to you by what? That is that company Dispose. That small little company that keeps telling you small is really not that small. You need to call, find out for yourself how big we can do big things for you.
Right.
So one of the things I can tell you that I am one of the people that's going to make sure customer service happen for you.
Yes.
All you got to do is give us a call and I'll be able to tell you exactly all what I can do, and I'll make my word my action. That's right, something different. And just give us an opportunity and let me show you. That's what we do over here at Bar Talk with Jay. So look us up. Dispose LLC.
Woo,
Now,
is that the jingle?
think it ain't what it is.
Dispose
LLC. That's right.
That's
We
good.
handle all that stuff that you don't want.
That's good.
right. That's what we do. But first, I gotta say, the person next to me is the person been rocking with me since I started this, and I gotta ask that man, how you doing, big baby Craftmatic?
Man, I'm doing awesome this week. Everything is, I just seen the doors open. You know, sometimes when you see the doors open to life, to opportunities and getting answers to your old questions and making progress in certain areas, you just feel alive, man. And I'm feeling alive. Life is good, man. How are you doing tonight, Big
I'm
Jay?
doing good, but I gotta go back to you, baby. Sound like you woke.
I'm definitely woke.
See, now, so all y'all people that know what I'm talking
I'm
about,
woke.
yeah, he's very much
Yeah,
a woke.
and you know that could be a show called Stay Woke.
Come on now.
Because
But most
we
people
gotta
don't
answer
understand.
your old questions and
Uh-oh.
making progress in certain areas.
Hello?
You just feel alive, man.
I'm just trying to tell you.
I thought I just said that.
You did? You said it twice.
Yeah.
You want to do a repeat, because one of the things I got to tell you about being sleep is you won't understand about being woke.
Yes.
So again, that's the subconscious. That's one of the things that I got to say to you. I don't know where you at.
Because
So it's
you
supposed to
gotta wake up.
Okay, we'll get back to you.
All right. Yeah.
Hello. I'm just trying to tell you.
I thought I just said that.
You didn't do it. You just said it twice.
Yeah.
You want to do a repeat? See, board man. I don't need to be hearing me two times about being woke.
Yes.
It kind of remind myself of myself.
Can you not stop it?
I don't know where you at. So it's okay. We get back to you.
All right. Yeah.
So
All right. Go
all
ahead.
right, we back.
So
There we
being
go.
woke, being woke and
Being woke is one of the things that I gotta say. We don't always know what we see, board man. I don't need to be hearing me two times. Two times.
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So now that we back, sorry, technical difficulty, everybody got to understand. We getting there. We changing up so much, so I have to apologize ahead of time. But one of the things we doing is trying to improve everything for you.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want to tell you about being woke is, again, when you sleep, you won't understand.
Yes.
But a person that's woke will see a person asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where you at. So again, I can't be talking to everybody at one time because you get confused. And again, it's not that confusing. It's just a lot of times you just listen to everything and you believe everything and you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
It starts when you wake up and understand yourself, believe in yourself, and you make change with that belief alone.
Yes.
A lot of times people teach you a belief. Hatred is a taught behavior. And a lot of things going on right now has been taught. We've been living lies for a very long time. And I like for people to wake up and realize the true value within themselves.
Yes.
The kings and the queens lies within you, and you're not acting the part because you don't believe the part.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue into a description of who we are. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
All right, all right.
And we are here in the house to inspire those who are looking for inspiration.
That's correct.
Sometimes you just need some new ideas. Sometimes you just need to be. I thought you. Good morning.
Oh, sweet Jesus in the house.
Because sometimes you are just. Sometimes we gonna introduce.
My bad. We'll get in later.
Sometimes you just need a pick-me-up, and we hope that our discussion can be a part of that pick-me-up. We talk a lot about relationships. We talk a lot about developing yourself. This is all about love. This is all about respecting you and who you are. We're hoping that you can see yourself in our conversation, in our dialogue. What will you do? What won't you do? And how will you handle the situation the next time, perhaps, when it comes your way? Because life is a funny thing. It's interesting how you'll be hearing some of this stuff we're talking about, and next week you'll be dealing with some of it. And
I know.
yeah, you think it's coincidence, it's not. It's because when you change your mind, life is going to put you to the test, and that's what life does for us. So we're just so glad that you're here with us tonight. We're glad to be here. We got a dynamic show lined up for you.
Mhm.
Tonight we're talking about love and affection.
Love and happiness.
Love and
What y'all
affection
know
is
about
on
that?
the
Y'all
brain
dance.
tonight.
Y'all dance.
Yes. Listen, so I want to plant that seed so nobody goes, because this is going to be a dynamic show. We always start the show off with a prayer. And if you don't mind, Jay?
I mean, I'm going to let you in. You know, one of the things I want to say is you gave me a fabulous one before the show.
Okay.
We do prayer a lot. So I'm going to let y'all let craft. That way I can sit back here and get the collection. Bar Talk with Jay. Cash up. That's right. Go for it.
All right, and let us just pray to the Heavenly Father. We thank you, Lord, for your almighty presence, for your love, and we thank you for being with us all throughout our lives and throughout our day. We don't take any of that for granted, and we just ask tonight, Lord, that you would begin answering some of our most critical, deepest questions that we have. The questions about our future, the questions about our past, the questions about our, about our health and our bodies and our minds. We ask, Father, that you would inspire us with answers from on high. Let them be clear and easy to access in this mind of ours. And so we know that you can do a perfect work, and we ask you to be with us tonight and to lift this show so that it lifts families and communities all across this world. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen, amen. That's right, y'all. Get on up. Cash out that Bar Talk. That's the cash. I'm Bar Talk with Jay. That's right.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to make sure you understand is what we doing is starting to show off how it should be.
Yes.
Start it off right, and you are in.
Yeah, and you should start your life off every morning just like this. Right?
Come on now. Tell them, Grab. Tell them how to do it.
It's about setting the intention for your life, right?
What?
Like you gotta,
Setting a
like
plan.
every person has is a great engine,
Mm-mm.
right? You're a great engine, and you already got gasoline.
Yeah, we
You're already full of fuel. You're already full of energy, but you gotta mash the pedal. Ain't nothing gonna happen until you mash the pedal,
Yeah, they be
and you
listening.
start steering this ship, right?
We hold on the brake.
And one of the ways you steer the ship is you set your intention for the day.
Mhm.
Today is going to be a great day.
Mm-hmm.
And some folks who might ask in the Lord, other folks might ask the universe. Whatever you ask and whoever you ask, set the intention for the day, because I promise you your life is going to follow that intention. If you wake up in the morning saying, I hate being up, I got up too early, it's going to be a bad day, you just prophesied a bad day over your life. And you didn't even realize it, right? That's why we say the slip of the tongue can hurt very much. You're prophesying things over your life that you shouldn't. But when you pray to the Lord, you got to be prophesying something dynamic and something powerful, and something powerful will come back. So that's how you start your day, and that's again what we're all about here on Bar Talk with Jay. Let's go ahead and cover last week's topic. It was
Before you go there, man, you did that so good. Let's have a little fun with it. Because while you starting that way, take it out of park. You know, you gonna go somewhere, take it out of park. I gotta mess with you.
you got to take it out of park.
You gotta take it out of park.
Okay,
See,
yeah.
that didn't mean get back into your mind.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things
Set
that you
the
started
intention.
off, you got your car, you got your fuel, but you gotta get your mind right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if not, you're gonna keep it in park,
Yeah.
hit the gas, it be revving up, and you ain't going nowhere.
Or you mess around and just put it in reverse.
And back your behind up.
Right?
You kind of nasty. I like that backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, why? Oh, no, I never. My bad. I had a moment.
Yeah.
Get dark.
So important. So last week we had a very, very, very nice show. When I went back and listened to the show, man, it was kind of inspiring because what we're going to find in our lives, those of us who consider themselves strong in the world and making things happen, that you're going to meet a lot of needy people. Right? And so last week we talked about how would you handle a relationship where one person is needy or possessive. And when I made that statement, you guys laughed.
Yeah, we did.
I gotta explain where I'm coming from. I think
Go
it's
ahead,
important for the audience to understand where I'm coming from. That those people who are strong in their lives, who are strong at their jobs, they're great parents, they're making life happen. Those folks are leaders.
Okay.
Okay? And when you are a leader in any form, in any organization or whatever, you're going to find that lots of people need you. Lots of people want your attention. Lots of people are trying to vie for you to come see them or call them or help them or give them money or whatever the case may be. And so you're going to find that you come across a lot of folk with need. And you need to determine right now, whether it be early or later in your life, you need to determine as soon as possible how you're going to deal with those people. That way, they don't rob you, they don't steal from you, they don't hinder your potential because you're trying to help someone who can't be helped. And we talked a lot about that last week, pouring into people who are really never going to come around. You know, you know that brother or cousin who's had years of troubles and pains or whatever, even though they want to, you would like to help them, but you can't let them necessarily come stay at your house.
Hell no.
Right?
No, sir.
Because you know that it's probably not, you know, there's high chances for it not to work.
No, they ain't gonna pay rent. That's what that is.
And so you're gonna be pouring money into somebody
That's
who's
correct.
never gonna really improve their lives. As
So
a
just stay
result
where
of
you
giving
at.
a chance. Yeah.
For your vibe.
One of the other comments that came out of last week's show is that neediness shows insecurities. And insecurities are easily revealed when you become needy. Now, the people who are needy can't see that they're revealing themselves.
That's true.
The people who are needy can't see how the rest of the world sees them.
Too busy being needy.
Yeah, and you know, and we kind of talked about this too. You can't see those people as necessarily bad people, right? Because when you start judging people as they're too needy, they always want something, the next thing you know, the universe is going to bring some kind of karmic activity back on you, and you're going to need something. And you don't want the person who could help you out of that situation to look at you like you looked at that person. Does that make sense, Jay? You don't really want them. So you see, it's karma. You can't look down on people. You got to look at them as children. They're sick. They can't help themselves.
Right.
You can feel sorry for them. You can help them to such degree. But when you start downgrading them, you know, in terms of even sometimes being a person or having any potential to move forward in their lives, you really cast a spell on them. You really push them downward rather than, because there's something you can do to help them. Nothing else but pray. So you can't look down on people. You got to have a Christ-like consciousness when you look at people, especially for those who are very successful. People, they get hundreds and hundreds of requests each year, perhaps each day, to do something for the world. And so, you know, if you develop that mentality, now you start to see the whole world as bad, right?
Yes, you can. But remember, that's your mindset. Because again, I met some people that was down and out, and they said to me, you know, I would never thought you would have gave me the time of day to even talk to me. First of all, I'm not judgmental. And just because you down
Good.
and you feel you down, don't mean you out.
Right.
One of the things I'm going to tell you about, we give too much hype to the ones that's praised and doing so good. A lot of that stuff could have been handed. You don't know what all they went through. So the ones that's kind of like down on their luck and they don't look, or they look a little rough, please understand how a diamond is made.
Yeah.
It is made in the darkest place,
Yeah.
and it's crushed down with a lot of pressure from coal, made into a diamond that you would have never even known until you dug deep to find.
Yeah.
Do you really find yourself going deep to find out what a person is about? Half the time you go off the face.
That's powerful.
You go off of face, and coal don't look that good to me, but it burns, right? It's a great resource.
Yeah.
But if you really understand the resource and you burn it correctly, you might find that diamond within
Yes.
what you're not looking for.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you always got your mindset on
Yeah.
something that you probably will never achieve because you listening to social media. It's up to you.
Yeah, Jay. And what come to mind is there was a buddy of mine at work several years ago. Me and him would always go to lunch. We just shared lunch. We always pick these unique restaurants and we'd have these fantastic lunches. And I guess he was going through a hard time financially. And so like 3 or 4 days in a row, he was bringing his lunch. And so I was like, hey, man, what's up, you know? So I knew that he was in a situation. There's no doubt. I could see that he was in need. He didn't ask me for anything. But because I saw it, it caused me to want to pour into him. So on Friday, we went and had a fantastic lunch, right? And you know, he was real grateful. It was, you know, it just came from my heart. It wasn't like I needed anything, but it touched him, you know, deeply. That I would see his need and offer to help, you know. And I put a few ducats in his pocket, which he quickly returned when he came back into the game. So we got to care for people. That's what this world is all about. We're not talking enough about caring and love. We're not giving enough caring and love. And I know this world is sometimes becoming cold. It's becoming dark. But you know, we got to keep righteousness in the forefront, and righteousness is taking care of our brothers and our neighbors to some degree. There are going to be those thorns that you really got to get out of your side. You got to push some people far away. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with protecting
start
yourself.
borrowing back from them.
Yeah.
Just
Start
trying to
borrowing
tell
back,
you, you know,
right?
you know how you got to do to get your stuff back. You're a borrower.
So
Some
it
worth
was
more than what they borrow from you.
it was a fantastic show. We love for you folks to check it out. We're all over the internet: Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Google Podcasts,
That's right.
Spreaker.
Oh, yeah.
I know you got a few of them for me, Jay.
I mean, yeah, Black Planet, Offer, you know,
Yeah.
you be getting Craigslist.
Yeah.
You know, everybody use Craigslist. See, that's why I don't like y'all. Y'all be tripping out there. Talking about Craigslist. Y'all be on it.
Y'all be
Y'all
on
be
it.
on it. That's why I'm on it. That's
Listen,
right.
That's why. Listen, when I look on the internet for our program, we are literally
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
POF. That way y'all plenty
Yeah.
of fish. So y'all want to spell all out.
Yeah.
Y'all be tripping.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We on it.
I wonder how many of our listeners have been on Plenty of Fish.
That's plenty. I know. I've been talking to them. And y'all keep it up now. Appreciate y'all.
It's a great.
Keep it going.
I'm telling you, I love that website. It's a great site. You know?
Man, that one we ain't on yet, but with Tinder.
Yeah.
I heard about that Tinder. What y'all know about that Tinder?
Yeah, Tinder love it
Yeah,
too.
that's right.
You know, I've been out of the game for a while.
I'm getting in the game.
It's beautiful.
And I'm
you
gonna
know?
get on that Tinder.
Yeah.
Y'all on there on Tinder, that's right. We ain't really endorsing Tinder,
Yeah.
but we gonna be there.
Yeah.
That way you can find us over here.
There you go. There you go. So let's go ahead and cover our quote for the night. And then Barbara gave me an interesting segment. I don't know if I'm going to cover it now or later on in the show. Let's see how much time we have after the quote. And it goes like this. What is your source of motivation? Keep that thought in your head and let every action you take build towards that future you envision. What is your source of motivation? Now, this is a very interesting question. I think a key question to everyone's success. Now, what is it that you're after? What fuels your fire? What are you passionate about? What is your desire? What is the thing you really, really want? What is the thing you really, really have to have this year, this month, tomorrow, the rest of your life, your bucket list? What are those things that motivate you? There can be so many, but what is it motivates you, Jay?
One of the things I pray for, and when it was revealed, you got to watch what you pray for, is understand. Because if you ain't understanding what's really going on, you're going to be lost. It's just like being asleep. So when I start understanding, I start changing what I was thinking and what I was doing. And when I'm telling you, it starts simple because it starts in your mind. But everybody want material things. Everybody has a vision of where they want to be. But I go back to self all the time. Do you understand you? You've been through so much already. So a lot of times you want to get away from you because you've been through so much. But he gave that to you for a reason, to understand you, to bring the best out of you. And all you want to do is run from you. I want to wake you up and stay in you, stay in tune, and be the best person you can be.
There you go.
That's what I'm looking for.
There you go. And that really should be what motivates you. What came to mind, what I wrote here when Jay was speaking was reaching for understanding versus things and stuff.
Ooh.
And there comes a point in life where those of us who have lived enough life realize that things and stuff matter not. We are really not interested in things and stuff. We are really interested in helping somebody. There are a lot of people's careers who are about really helping somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about the medical industry, and I think about I think about leaders across the world that are interested in helping, really interested in helping, versus the money. Now, we're always gonna need a certain sum of money, but if you had all the money in the world, what would you be doing? If you had all the money in the world, what would you be passionate about?
I sure wouldn't be working.
What would you be living for? What would you be living for? What would you be after if you had no problem with survival? What would be your cause to life? What would be the thing that wakes you up every morning and the thing that would drive you? What would that be, Jay?
The good Lord to wake me up because I'm going to be spending that money. I'll be on it. Wow. Man, I'm on the first
I can
cruise
count on
ship.
your ass.
We going to be partying. I'm telling you, the cruise on jet.
Yeah.
Cruise on jet.
Yeah.
We're going to be out having a great time. It ain't my money.
Yeah.
It came easy. It's go easier. We're going to have some fun. I really look for life for what he's been giving us. He's been giving us opportunity to use our minds and use it in a way that we can make things happen. We make mountains move, but we don't know how to use it. So understanding your power makes you a greater person than talking about what you think about doing. You actually do it. And that's what we got to get back to, doing, not just talking. I feel like there's been a lot of rhetoric out there already. We've been lied to. So when are we going to push forward? Why are we waiting on somebody? Everybody's waiting on something, and you ain't understanding you. Because if you understand you will stop waiting and start doing. And it's not about nobody else. It's about us being back to where we need to be, believing in. But everybody got different ways to approach it. I get it. I'm not the one tripping. My whole thing is, are you really moving or are you stagnant?
And listen, there are some people who just want to stay stagnant. There's some people who've gotten so comfortable. I don't think their spirit wants to, but I think they've gotten comfortable there. So that is the kind of stuff that we're talking about tonight. Let's go ahead and introduce the topic for the week. We're going to take a break. Again, we got a great show lined up for you folks. We got Jamal coming on. We got good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey coming on.
Oh, don't forget, we got special guests in the building. Everybody knows some TR380 in the building.
Yes.
And Sweet Jesus. Hey, y'all know nothing about Sweet Jesus.
In the house.
She been here before. If y'all don't know how good Sweet Jesus is, y'all better stay tuned to the Lord.
She has a different perspective. I can tell you that.
All night long.
She has a different perspective.
All night.
So tonight's topic, we are talking about what is the real meaning of love and affection.
Yeah, we're gonna need Sweet Jesus for that one. You know?
Yeah, we're gonna need to. But what is the real meaning of love and affection?
I'm still trying to find out. That's why I be dating.
And
Getting it in. Love and happiness.
Not sure where we're gonna go. The show is never scripted, but we got some great ideas lined up. We hope they inspire you. We hope they entertain you, and we hope you're enjoying our program so far. Stay tuned with us. I got some nice cuts for those of you who get a chance to listen to the music between sets, and enjoy it. Stand up and dance around. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay. Right after this.
Man, I tell you, with the smooth sounds of Craftmatic.
Yes, sir, man.
Man,
Yes,
you
sir.
did that one, man. What was on your mind when you did that song?
It's
you
so
thinking
smooth,
about somebody
man.
or
It's so
something?
smooth. I love smooth.
I mean, come on, I'm trying to get you to snitch now. Can you tell on yourself?
No,
You was
man.
thinking about something, Craft.
No, I wasn't thinking.
No, nobody, nothing.
Nobody, nothing.
Okay.
I was just listening to the smooth.
Well, you was
grooves.
thinking for me then, because that's kind of smooth. And I was thinking, like, you throw that on my playlist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like that.
See, every time I play a song, I think from the DJ's perspective.
I can tell you.
Right? I'm always thinking about, well, how's the crowd gonna respond to this one?
I was thinking about how Jackie did something.
Yeah, I was thinking how, see, we expect grandmamas to listen to this show. So I want grandmamas to get up during the middle of the show.
I wasn't worried about no grandma. I'm thinking about what I could be doing with. Never mind. Anyway, we right back with you. What? I was saying.
I had to keep a clean show.
Man, we is clean, but we like to do things.
Yeah. We don't have Jamal quite yet, right?
No, we working on some things real quick.
Can I go ahead and do this segment here a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is just a segment that Barbara put together. We normally would do it inside of the first segment. I'm sorry, and I just like to spend some time. I think it's to be valuable for all of us. The question is, what are you seeing for your tomorrow?
Ooh,
what are you seeing for your tomorrow? And I think to really embrace the idea, we have to first understand that seeing tomorrow adds power and strength to your day tomorrow, right? It's not just, we got to understand that our thoughts do create our realities, right? And if you think about tomorrow, are you going to fill tomorrow's day with fears and worries and doubts and all those things? Or are you going to fill tomorrow with positivity? And say to yourself, really, we're asking you to when you get a vision of tomorrow, when you're seeing tomorrow, you're really seeing that tomorrow's going to go smooth, right? And I say that to myself. I say it out loud. I'm talking about speaking your life into existence. Because if you don't plan for your life to be the way you want it to be, it's going to be the way the world wants it to be. And that could end up in all kinds of incidences and stuff, accidents and problems at work and misunderstandings and not enough money or time. Our circumstances out of life come from our mindset.
Right.
And you ever been around somebody who's, it seems like they got problems, right? And you help them clean up their problems.
And they got right back to them.
They got more to take its place, right?
Right.
They have a problematic consciousness. That's
Right.
that's their state of mind continuing to manifest itself over and over and over. And the only way to disrupt that pattern is to disrupt the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can get them to see a better tomorrow, they'll wind up having a better tomorrow. Right? But you're never going to understand this principle until you test the theory. This is all mambo jumbo. It's all just philosophy. It's all just, a set of thoughts that, may or may not add value until you put it to test. And for those of you who like to journal or write, I encourage you to write about your tomorrows. I have seen some miraculous things happen in my life because I didn't know the answers. And so all I would do is just pretend in my mind that tomorrow is going to be a fantastic day. Mm-hmm. The things that might have been trouble, the misunderstandings, I didn't have enough money, I didn't have enough time, somehow they just work themselves out so magically because I took the time yesterday to create it. And that's what we're doing. We're creating. Thought creates. You love magic? Yes, we all
know
love
you do,
magic.
sweet Jesus.
And magic is real. If you understand what I'm telling you, magic is real. So the question is, what are you seeing for your tomorrows? The one point I wanted to make here is when things seem like they're going to be tough tomorrow, and I'm not just talking about tomorrow, I'm talking about next week or next month, the things that you're expecting to happen in life. You got to say, they're not going to happen. Somehow, I'm going to get this thing figured out. And I'm gonna meet my timeline, I'm gonna accomplish my objective, I'm gonna exceed the boss's expectations, I'm gonna make something happen here. And just the change in mindset will begin to influence your whole life very differently. It'll
You
begin
gotta
to,
really encompass it though.
There you go.
Really encompass it.
Yes.
If you don't, it just doesn't
yes,
work.
we call it embody. Yes,
Yeah.
we have to embody it. If I don't want to be too spiritual here, I'm gonna say this just because she mentioned that what God would want us to do is He would want us to create tomorrows to be perfect. And once you create those tomorrows to be perfect in your mind, He wants you to go into the playground of the promised land of your mind and bask in those things. Sit in your living room and look around the room and create a whole new room. Say, I'm living in my new house. I'm sitting on my new couch right now.
Be grateful for it already.
Yes, I'm just thank you, Lord, for all this new furniture, for all these groceries, and for all this money in my bank account. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity. I'm just gonna start thanking Him beforehand. That's what the Lord would want you to do, because in that space and mind, it'll generate an action of the Spirit to fulfill it. We are vessels that the universe responds to us. We don't respond to the universe. We create life. Life doesn't create us. And so if you don't have an expectation for tomorrow, tomorrow's going to be, again, what the world wants, and probably not going to hit the mark on your own.
I totally agree. But it goes right back to what we said earlier. Understanding. So you saying, I am sitting here and I'm going to pray, or I'm going to automatically manifest a great tomorrow.
Yes.
Can you understand today? Can you understand where you at? To manifest something different, you also got to understand where you at to achieve something different. A lot of times you just want something because you don't like where you, but understand what He's putting you through. I like to say people keep repeating because you ain't understanding. He gonna keep putting you through until you make a change, and you ain't gonna get to that next level until you say and do. But you gotta know where you at. And that's why I says a lot of people sleep. Because they compete with themselves and they don't even see that they're repeating themselves.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
That's all they're doing.
They're not changing, but they want to. No one ever gave them the ability to see something different.
Yes.
So they lost belief in self. Okay, so when you get back to understanding you and believing in you, then you can start speaking out because you got power within.
But let me tell you something magical that happens, Jay.
What's that?
Okay, this is coming from a real psychological perspective, right? We can't expect people to just change, right? In most cases, they need to be. There's no other way to do it. It has to be inspiration. It has to be a new idea. It has to be something to change, right? But if you spend time kind of just, I don't want to cross the lines here. If you spend time just looking at yourself, sometimes the picture of self is too heavily burdened by my own insecurities, by my own things and stuff, right? Sometimes to look at myself just says, you know, I can't, it's too dark right there for me to look at myself. But you know what? I'm going to go there. I'm at A, and A might not look real good, but I want B. And if I get laser focused on B, I promise you A will never have mattered, because you will start moving toward B. It's a natural manifestation. It's cause and effect. It's the law of the universe. What you place your mental attention upon will grow. And so if you know that you've been sorry, right? And some people know that. They won't admit it. They won't admit it to themselves. They're not going to admit that to themselves.
Right.
But they say, you know what? I don't want to be sorry no more.
That's why you want to.
I want to change. And so I start looking at the change I want rather than looking at myself, because it'll be too burdensome to look at self. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have an introspective look, but no matter what place you are in now, you can get out of it by going toward the next place, going toward the next destination. And so keep your mind focused on your tomorrows. And I promise you, where you're at will look like it was nothing when it was nothing.
And you
Right?
be specific with that, because just saying you're sorry doesn't, like, if I'm just saying I'm a sorry person, that's not making your subconscious mind work.
It's not feeling good.
If you are
Right.
specific about what you think you're doing that is sorry, how you treat people, how you get angry at
Yes.
certain things, if you pinpoint that, it's easier to change that.
Right.
And
Right.
You got a mic? Hit the button.
Hear me? Oh yeah, it's working now. All right, so I go by Trey 80. You feel me? I'm an artist from St. Louis. I've been coming to the show for a while.
Yes.
I love these brothers. They got a lot of knowledge. They got a lot of genuine perspective, and it can be life changing. Two things I wanted to hit on. One is that I am an avid reader. I'm an avid learner. So I read a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
And in this book, he states that thoughts can be transmuted into their physical counterpart by the application of known principles, that the universe does not discriminate between thoughts of poverty or thoughts of prosperity.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on that because what you said, something about poverty consciousness, something about people being so stuck in their ways because they have never been able to visualize or been able to manifest a greater future because they trapped in a cycle of what they see.
Right.
So taking it into perspective, I think the first key is accountability. You have to be accountable for your actions. You have to be accountable for everything you do. Everything that you say is going to have a label on it. Everything that you do is going to have a label placed on it. And if you want to get greater, you know, you got to move towards, if you want to be greater, you have to move towards you have to put action towards your goals and visions instead of just letting them remain in your head as ideas.
Yes. Absolutely.
Woo! All right, that's that GR380. If y'all ain't understand, y'all here today.
Yeah. And here's just what comes to mind. If you've been in a bad situation or a bad place and you need to fix something in life, I'm going to ask that you do one thing. One little thing big. I want you to do one thing every single day towards your new destination. Right? And here's what happened. At the end of 30 days, you will have changed your behavior 30 times. And I'll promise you, there'll be some gravy coming out of that funnel. You will have talked to somebody who can help you. You will have put the product together. You will have customers already ready for your business. You will have opportunities before you. See, that's the way the universe works. If I put it together, God's gonna sell it.
right.
If I just get started with it, He'll show me the way. That's why we have to just step. That's why we call it faith. We got to step out on what we don't know, but we want it so bad. We're gonna step out there and just hope the ground becomes solid under our feet with each step. That's how we want it. That's how we are supposed to live life, man. Very, very powerful. Accountability is the thing. Do one thing. You got to take some action. And if it's only a little action, it doesn't matter, right? Because yeah, the universe doesn't know the difference between little and big.
And one more thing before you transition, because I know you a smooth brother, you flow like a river, so you be going from one thing to another,
Appreciate that, my brother.
I send out these motivational messages every morning, right? So it's like a select group of people who I just, I wake up and I think about these things. But the message for today was actually, what is your source of motivation? Don't tell me. Just keep that thought in your head all day today and let every action you take build towards that future.
Yes, yes. I used to teach one of the things that I often do to get people to change their mind, particularly salespeople when I was doing sales training, is I would get them to ask the same question to themselves 1,000 times a day. What is my motivation? 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 What is motivating me? What is motivating? See, we got to dig through some of the old layers of thought in order to get to the real stuff, because the real stuff is in there. It's inside. The answers are all inside of you, but it's not going to get there until you remove some of those old layers. So sometimes asking the right questions, sometimes it's stating prophecy and declarations and affirmations that it is mine, it is mine, it is mine, it is mine. And I'm going to just talk myself that whatever it is I'm after is mine, and I'll see some miraculous doors open. You got to try this stuff. You got to try this stuff, folks. We never got Jamal on, and we got a few more minutes just before we go to break. Let's go ahead and just stimulate a little bit of dialogue on what is the real meaning of love and affection. Is that the Lord talking to us?
I don't know if it's love, but we better run. You know, we don't like it when we hear stuff.
You got no enemies.
I don't know. I be nervous. Oh man, crap. Let's back it up and make people realize, mindset is one of the key things that a lot of people will have a problem with. Because, when my mind's not there, I don't want to tell nobody.
Right.
If I'm scared of something, I actually manifest a thought over and over, and it oversees any positive thing that I might want to do.
Right.
That's the most scariest thing that's happening today. So what I would tell anybody is watch what goes on. Have a better understanding, because if not, your fears will be the one that leads you, not you. You're not going to be manifested by the right thing. It's going to be the wrong thing. Because fear can do a lot to you that you don't want to control, because you're afraid of it. And when you don't want to face it, you're running from it. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
But no one knows how to deal with it. And I get it, because I don't know where you at. So I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a person that can bring you. I went through my own hell. I had to understand why I kept repeating, why I kept doing it. Because again, until you get tired of going there, please understand, anybody can push you out. Just understand, you're going to go back. And that's where everybody wonder why they keep doing it. Why? Because they wasn't done. And when you keep pulling them out, please understand, you're not always changing. You got to allow them to accept. You want to see them change. They have to accept.
They have to change.
And a lot of times, you talking, they ain't willing to accept.
Yeah.
And you get mad. There's no reason to judge, because if they're not where you want them to be, you got to allow time. We want everything instant. Every young person go to Instagram and see instant. It don't always happen that way. It's a process. Somewhere along the line, somebody forgot the damn process. Let's get back to a process that works. Not this mediocre bullcrap that we keep seeing, because they're selling falseness. Another lie.
Okay.
Why? They don't want you to be the greatest you. Why would they? If everybody understood this power, I'm telling you, it'll change the world. That's not what everybody needs.
Yeah.
They need people where they at.
Yeah.
That's not what I want.
Yeah.
What he has for you is to change you, but everybody ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then other people gonna use it for profit, propaganda, and everything else. I can't talk about that. But what I can talk about, can you love you? Because again, I hear everybody talk about everybody else. And everybody want to talk about the elite. What about you? I want to get back. This show is dedicated to understanding that we're nowhere near perfect.
Right.
But we're willing to give. But don't cash at me not one more damn time now. It ain't just about my pockets giving away. It's about me giving you encouragement and enrichment, but you can get it yourself.
Yeah, and man, so many things that come to mind as you're talking. One of the first things that come to mind is that Jay keeps pounding on understanding. He keeps pounding on understanding. See, there's something magical that will happen in your life when you seek understanding. And in Proverbs it talks about understanding is the beginning of wisdom. right? And to seek understanding will bring your wisdom to the surface of your life, right? And it will, and not only will it bring wisdom to the plate, it'll bring peace to the plate. See, my mind doesn't have to bounce off the walls when I understand, right? So if I seek understanding, I keep my mind at peace. I keep my heart at peace. And there's a lot of times we have things that happened in the past, and we haven't made peace with them because we don't understand them. I have people tell me stories all the time about things that happened to them in their past, and I'm like, man, that happened 20 years ago. Why am I hearing about this story?
They ain't no closure.
They haven't created understanding about it. And sometimes the understanding is just to let it go. Right? So let's say I was with somebody and they cheated on me, and I've been talking about that cheating for 10 years, right? They cheated on me for 10 years, but the understanding is that they brought me out. That situation caused me to be in a larger place, to get more love. That situation dealt with me in a way that had to strengthen my character, right? I'm finding the good in the situation, and the only way you're going to get over anything is to find the good in it.
Right.
If you find the good in it, it creates the understanding, and the understanding will draw you to the wisdom. The wisdom is that situation was really good for me. And as much as it hurt, it sure lifted my spirit. It sure protected me from any more enemies that might come that way. You see, if you don't make good with your past, you're holding on to all of these big bags of troubles and past pains. You got to find a way to resolve those things. And I was just saying earlier, you don't have to stay there. You can say, you know what, I'm going to meet a better person. And maybe you never really figure out what they did or what they had. So there's a couple of ways you can go to inspire your own mind, but either way, you can't stay still. You got to make resolve with the past, or you got to plant some seeds for the future.
I'm just saying, he's still working on me, because when you said that, you had my whole face jacked the hell up. I'm just saying, you did that for that long. I'm going to have some problems, all right? It's going to take some time. Please understand, before my mind can change, I have to take time to process what we went through. Because again, that was it could be a situation where it's hard to get through.
But here's the thing, Jay, that when you say processing in my mind, it feels...
She cheated for 10 years, but I mean, that's a long damn time.
It feels hard and heavy. But listen, that wasn't your fault.
I mean, it could have been. I mean,
see, if you want to own some of it, now I'm trying to take it. You see what happens?
I kind of add a little bit to it.
You see what happens?
You got me snitching.
He won't let it go.
No, you got me snitching. There's a couple people out there. Yeah. But see, my whole thing is,
I'm trying to help you let it go.
The truth,
you won't
will
let it
never
go.
make that positive
Sometimes the truth it wasn't meant for you to know.
I didn't say tell it. I didn't say I was going to tell it. I just said, I did some things.
If she cheated on you in your bed, and he used your
too damn far.
And he used your towel.
Wow!
And he ate your cooking.
See, it ain't true. It ain't true.
Hey, listen.
I don't know who told you this.
He might have shaved with your razor.
Now see.
Now listen, here's the point.
Yeah, you need to hurry up and bring that shit.
The point is you don't need to be dealing with all that shit, man.
No, I sure don't.
You ain't got time to be figuring those things out. You knew your razor was missing or gone or moved. You knew that there was something in that drawer. You knew that.
It'll be a number on this shit where you keep talking. You keep it up, it'll be a number on it.
You gotta let that crap go.
I'm just trying to, it ain't gonna get good. I ain't provoke violence, but that action ain't provoke good shit.
Now listen, see what happens. See what happens when you start entertaining all those facts. Right. How they snuck. This is what they did, right? This is what they really did. They really set you up so that you would say yes to them going on that trip. But they know they had their partner already paid for the trip, so that he can meet Miss Tutti Frutti down the road, right? And so he went down the road, and all of a sudden he knew his phone was gonna be messed up, and he knew it was gonna be an extra day, and he called you with this lame story, right? You don't need to be entertaining all of that crap. You do not need to be thinking about it. You cannot bring any resolution out of what they did. The only thing you have control over is what you did. And you know what? You weren't at fault. So decide to not be a victim. decide that there's something good that came out of that situation. And those of us who live in righteousness, if you have been done wrong for a long time, there's something really, really good coming for you. There's something really magical, really powerful coming for you. I promise you, the Lord will not let you down. He will not allow your righteousness to be in vain. He's not gonna.
If you don't hold the bag, like the
Right.
baggage of that.
Yeah, you gotta let the bag
You
go.
gotta accept,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
move on.
That's exactly
like
right.
if you accept it, you can move on.
There you go. There you go. And it is just about time for us to take another break. We obviously didn't have Brother Jamal on. We are fully expecting the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey. We hope you're enjoying the show. This is some powerful, powerful dialogue.
Yes, it is.
You don't hear about this kind of stuff
I
in
got me nervous over here.
mainstream America.
Got me sweating.
Yeah, so we hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to be right back to more Bar Talk with Jay. So we're glad you folks are back with us. And I don't know, did we get them all on? I mean, get up the Reverend
I
Dr.
don't think we
Jeffrey
get
yet?
a chance to get them.
Okay, listen, I'm ready to talk about the subject anyway.
Oh.
So
You're all
let's
ready to dive in.
yeah, let's dive in because we ain't really. There's a lot to cover on this subject. The topic for tonight, folks, is what is the real meaning of love and affection?
Ooh, real and happy.
And let me just start off with some stuff that I pulled up. Let's just get a
Okay.
real definition of love and affection.
Define it.
And
Grab.
there's a lot to go along with it, right?
Mm.
So love and affection are two inseparable feelings.
Mm.
Love is often described or defined as a deep affection, whereas affection is a feeling of liking or fondness,
Mm-hmm.
right? And where are we going with this subject?
I was wondering, do lust go in there somewhere? Because I mean, what about when you lusted? I mean, is that something? I mean, will it fit? I'm just kind of
That's a
curious
great question,
because
Jay.
y'all be saying love, and they be like, "Ooh, I love it." I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know if that word really fit my dialogue or what just happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yours was lusted.
It was a little lust, a little bit of liking.
I would
It's
say
a little,
lust
it's a
is
little good feeling.
lust is cheap affection.
It wasn't that cheap about it. I mean, it was put on pretty good. They used whipped cream. Y'all know all that stuff right there. But I'm just saying,
Can I have a conversation with you, man?
it's just ways you have to look at things. And again, where your mind is at.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, everybody's mind's not there. So I'm picking for a reason, because when you say love, everybody's mind is not gravitated all the way there. So I have to throw lust in there, because when you lusting, there's some people that lust thinking it is love. They lust after what they can't have, and it happens all the time over money, ambition, dreams. So now they want to dream of what they don't have because they ain't liking their surroundings.
Okay.
It happens all the time, but nobody want to talk about it. All right, I want to dream about it. But remember, dreams ain't gonna always come into reality without action. But I don't like where I'm at. So it's a mindset. So if you understand where you at, you can start elevating, because you have to stand. That's the scariest thing I don't want to admit.
So let's talk about loving someone.
Oh, now loving somebody, you look changing it up on
And,
me.
and how do you show your love to someone? How do you show your love to
On the
someone?
upfront? Okay, we let Sweet Jesus talk on that one.
We're not talking about loving, right?
Oh yeah! Now look at, see, I wasn't the only one. See,
And
We're
listen,
not talking about that.
That
We're
is,
talking
yeah,
about-
and we need to do, we
oh, now you want to talk about? Oh crap! This is a hypocritical bull. This is bull, man. Oh, now she
Listen.
said it's okay.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this in preparation for the show. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Oh, this is a bull.
Yeah, in preparation for the show.
Can I not be thrown under the bus?
I wanted to just put this out there, right? You don't love your hookup. You don't love your fling, right? And so you may express some forms of affection for them, but you don't love them, right? And so we're not talking about lust and cheap affection here. We're talking about people who are in love. We talked a lot about dating, and we talked a lot about the early part of relationships. Now we're talking about love. And love ain't necessarily, you know, that your mate or your spouse or significant other. Love can be your family members. Love can be people you know in the world who've done things for you. But how do you love people?
With a lot of forgiveness and acceptance.
Okay. Okay. That's one way.
I guess that's where it starts. If you're talking about a relationship, because I know
You already know.
Go
Yes,
to
I have a hard time.
relationships.
Yeah, when you talk about a relationship.
So if
yes.
we're talking about relationships, absolutely. If you plan on having a long-term relationship, forgiveness is the foundation. You're gonna have to forgive. If you don't accept the fact that you're gonna have to forgive all throughout that relationship, and it could be for something small or it could be for something big, because everyone's nature and nurture is different.
Right.
So if in your household you grew up doing something and then you meet somebody else and they end up whatever they do gets on your nerves, there's a lot of forgiveness that has to go on in your
Yes.
head. So that form may be sacrifice to you,
Okay.
and that may be your form of love. Everybody,
Yes.
form of love is different actions.
Yes. Nah, that's powerful. I think you hit the nail right on the head, because you can't have a real loving relationship. I'll put it to you this way: if you are in a relationship and some bullshit happens, right, and you don't forgive, it is almost impossible for you to show real, genuine affection. You can't show affection to somebody you're mad at, and that's really the dynamics of the relationship
Okay.
that I want to talk about.
You
today.
been married? Oh, you know your wife pissed you off, and you still made good look. You know.
Yeah, but
I've been there. You know.
Yeah, but that was lustful affection.
That wasn't at that time.
That was lustful affection, because
That
when
wasn't.
when you
can't
got
lust up.
when you got off of it, when you got off of it, you were still mad.
I sure was, but I got off happy. You better learn to make yourself happy.
That happiness only lasted until it was time for the next one.
I'll tell you what, I was so pissed off at that time, it sure made me feel better.
And listen, people are thinking that they are loving their spouse just because they make love to them. I'm mad with you, I can't stand you, but we have sex.
Uh-huh.
That is not genuine affection.
It don't gotta be.
Yeah,
It sure feel good.
In fact, what I think is happening is that rather than, so when you're in love with somebody, you're either going to do one thing: you're going to give affection or you're going to hold back affection. And so you wind up being in a relationship where you constantly are holding back your affections. And that might mean simple things like, just before I get home, I stop and get me a drink. I ain't gonna get them one. I know they like it. I ain't gonna get them no drink. You're holding back an affection, and as little as that is, it'll start to move across every part of your life. You might not fix their plate when you get ready to take yours to the kitchen for cleanup. You might not grab theirs. You might not want to be in the room with them when they watch their favorite program, because you're constantly mad at them. So now the amount of affection that you're pouring toward them is very little. I think to some degree the holding back of affection is almost as damaging.
But you holding it back, you holding it in
You
your
hold
heart.
it in,
That's why.
yes,
You're
yes.
making your own soul mad
Yes.
at that situation.
And so the point here is that forgiveness is everything in a loving relationship, because at least an attempt to forgive will allow you to show that person affection, right? And believe me, they need it. And there's a whole lot going on in between. They may not know how bad they did or how much you dislike what they did. They may not, they may not want to hear it, or you may have said it before. There could be a whole lot going on, but you've got to find a way to make the breakthrough, and you're not going to make the breakthrough without some form of forgiveness. Because if you just, which I think we all have done, you just say, okay, just forget about it. And then you start trying to do life, you're going to be like, you know what, I can't trust this person in this area. You know what, I don't really like to be around this person because they might do what they did yesterday. And so you're...
So right there,
Okay.
accept and either move on
From
or
now.
forgive. Like forgive for real. And
Right.
then you could go on about your happy
Then-
life and communicate.
Yeah.
I think sometimes though you can't
Communicate your
forgive
right.
patterns of behavior.
Right.
They're so repetitive.
Yeah.
So if you can forgive and move on, or you can accept it for what it is. Acceptance is a big part of it, because this person ain't gonna change until they ready to change. They're not gonna take those steps to better themselves, as we was talking about in the beginning, to make that relationship better, because they're vested in their ways, they're stuck in their ways.
Yeah, and listen, I believe, this is real important, kind of profound. I believe that all of the relationships that that start and either break up or end up in divorce, I believe all of those relationships are where people are just holding on to these things. They're just holding on to these old things and they're not forgiven. And then it just comes to a point where it explodes. It comes to a point where you can't take anymore. It comes to a point where you haven't accepted that that's who they are. That's how they manage money. That's how they manage their time. That's how they're going to treat you. You can either get over it, or you're going to wind up doing you're really going to be hurting inside and not knowing how to release that pressure valve from hurting yourself, right? Because you're holding in these dark emotions. You're holding in a lot of stress and a lot of things that disturb your spirit. So it ultimately comes back to how you're going to treat yourself. Am I going to allow this thing to keep me from being loving, right?
Can I have some fun?
Right.
You know, I like to play around.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to throw a little spin on this. A lot of people used to ask me a long time ago about why do people lie? It's to control the situation, okay? That's just why people lie. If you broke a lamp and you know your mom was gonna whip you behind, and did you break it? No, why? Because I didn't want to get a whooping, all right? That's real simple. Now, that's what politicians and presidents and everything that goes on in that. They ain't gonna tell you everything, because then at that point, they can't control. So you gotta understand what goes on in this world is people want to manipulate and control. So they ain't gonna give you the truth because they want to give you a perception, what they think. And this is what the saddest thing is, because we all got minds. We all got thoughts. But somebody want to control them. And it's so scary, even in a relationship. So I have a problem with your behavior. You're not changing, you're not doing it, so I'm holding on. So when I keep telling you about alignment, and people laugh at me, you talk about alignment, because see, you going after the eye. You going after eye candy. If you know you and you know where you're going, you will start aligning yourself with a person in that direction. But see, you want that love. I'm going to tell you a secret. If you align with somebody and they see you and they can help you, you will fall in love with a person that sees you for you.
But there's going to be a lot of times in every
And there's gonna be a whole
relationship,
lot.
successful or not, where you don't align.
That's
And
right.
I think that's
but
what
you would get tell you about that. And I like that.
Yeah.
There's times at my job I don't want to continue either.
Right.
But my whole thing is I just don't quit because I have a reason and I'm vested.
Yeah.
I'd rather vest with a person that sees me,
Right.
that's gonna help push me, not a person that's just with me.
Right.
That's where the problem comes from,
Yeah.
because you getting too eye candy. You getting too unreal. And let's get real. You know you ain't perfect. He made you imperfect for a reason. Because you need somebody and you keep thinking you don't. That's why you have multiple thinking because I'm too good. No, the hell you ain't. You playing with yourself and you gonna find yourself. And a lot of times that's why I'm by myself. Because I have to be comfortable. But people won't be real. Tell me what I need to be. Don't put me in your situation. I go through my own hells, but I can be better. Don't put yourself with me. You ain't walked in my shoes. Bar Talk with Jay tell you real, because I ain't got nothing shameful to tell you. I've been through it. He put me through it because I can talk about it and laugh about it.
Yeah.
You probably can't because you're too scared and you want to control how somebody might look at you.
Yeah.
That's half
And so,
no problem.
and so
That ain't mine.
you make up a great point. You know, your spouse, significant other, you're lying to you. And they kind of lie to you all the time. Sometimes about things that you really don't think. And listen, and some things that you really think, you're like, why did you lie about that? You know what?
I ain't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, and
So it wasn't good.
and think about this. Think about the effects of a lie. Someone lies to you over and over and over about things that mean nothing. Just imagine what's going to happen when the stakes are high.
They're going to lie some more.
They're going to lie some more. And if you are going to stay with them, you're going to have to resolve to the fact that they will lie to you. And you might not want to, you know, you might not be something you deal with every single day, but you got to know that that's who they are, and you're going to have to accept it. And accepting it might mean seeing the sickness behind it, right? This is a weak, you know, even though I love them and they're my, you know, my Mr. and Mrs. Right, they're really a weak person. They really can't honor the truth, not because of me, but because of themselves. You can see the shame in their eyes about the thing that they did and what they lied about. You send them to the store to get 3 things, and they come back with 2, and they be like, oh, you know what, man, this happened and that happened and that. Why you gotta lie? Just say I forgot and go get it.
That's what's gonna happen anyway.
Just say I forgot and go get it. So, and it does. It dramatically drains the amount of affection that you have toward that person. You know, I would imagine there are plenty of moms who've been walking around in malls who wanted to buy something for their child, but their child act up. And so the mom's like, I was gonna get it for him, but you know what? The child ain't doing right. The parent is holding back some forms of affection because of what the child is doing. And you know, there's some times it's necessary and sometimes it's not. But you know, ultimately, I think we got to get to a place where Jay says we got to find some understanding about it. Because if you're not going to forgive somebody for something, the relationship is not going to last very long. It's only going to be torn down by the old things that happened, and you've never been able to move on. Let me just read a couple of other things here. We got just a few minutes.
Okay, what else you got?
And so we talked about love. Here's kind of another. What is affection in a relationship? Is the question here.
Mm-hmm.
Affection, more accurately showing affection, is the most important part of any loving relationship. It is the verbal and physical expression of love, warmth, and caring you and your partner feel for each other. And there are so many things that come into play. Something as simple as touch. And really, you know, nobody's ever taught us this. There's no textbook for life. There's no textbook for love. But touch.
Pornhub. What you say?
Everybody
got their own love
volunteer
language.
program at the hospitals is for people to come in and
touch
touch
the
the
baby?
children.
Touch
the
the children.
babies.
Yes.
We gotta watch that.
Touch signifies. Touch signifies connection.
Right.
It signifies I like you, and that you like me. And so, holding hands with your significant other, whether you're sitting on the couch watching a movie, or whether you're out in public walking around, you know, sometimes.
I thought she was just trying to show she claiming me. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, don't put your hand on me. I said, don't you see her looking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We know about relationships here.
Well, dating a relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you be excluding me all the time,
You
Craig.
met 3 days, man.
I didn't say you always hurt my feelings.
Right?
I be trying.
Yeah.
I be trying to make something out of nothing.
We're talking about real love. And so there
Don't
is.
you like Kool-Aid?
I love Kool-Aid.
That's what I'm talking about. You know that? Ain't nothing like it. But I'm trying to tell you, you like what you like.
So if you ever had somebody to come up to you, you know, let's just say you're sharing with them one of your pains or troubles or whatever, and they just walk up to you and put their hands on your shoulders. There's something very comforting about that. There's something, it's almost like they're saying, you know what, I'm on your side. And what you're saying does make a difference. And so the power of touch can be magical in a relationship. It is a strong expression of affection in love. Even when your children, you want to hug and you want to touch them, you want to caress your children, you want them to know that touch means that they're cared for, even without the words.
Right.
Right?
That's why I try not to talk when I whoop them. Because I'm trying to show I love him, but I'm beating the hell. Because I ain't like what he did.
Yeah.
I didn't like what he did.
Now here's a question for you. What do you do after you whoop them?
Look at him. Just look at you. I just tell him to just sit there and I'm just going to look at you.
That's it.
You know why?
Why?
Anything else said is not going to be heard because they still get past what just happened. You know something?
It might not be heard now, but
Man, my mama used to beat me and then talk. I'd be like, yo, mama, you ain't gonna do both. You ain't gonna beat me and talk to me? Oh, no, something gotta stop. You know, it's like double torture. You know, I already did wrong. You gonna tell me right and beat me? Man, that's just too damn much. I told my mama, I am thinking about some of the stuff you said to me when you was hitting me. You thought it translated then. Now that I look at you, mama, you wrong. You wrong. You had to do it twice.
You can't even see it in
But one of the
hindsight,
things
though.
she said was, I was mentally trying to change you.
Yes.
Because the pain is what was grabbing you at that time. I was getting your mind somewhere else.
Spare the rod.
So
spoil the
again,
child.
a lot of times it's symbolical that you don't understand what people are doing. I'm blessed to have a mother that's of age that goes back and tell me why I did what I did.
All right.
When you didn't even understand. But I loved you and knew you, and I used the best tools I had to teach you. And they keep saying a woman can't teach a boy to be a man.
Mhm.
That might be true, but she can show you love
Yes.
that will make you a better person.
Yes.
That'll make you a better man.
Yes. And
Because
so-
you can get man, boy to man, that's a default.
Yeah.
But understanding yourself and what somebody pouring into you will nurture you to get you to be the best you.
Yes.
And again, men ain't nurturers like women are, but I promise you, it gives me back to a nurturing center of understanding a woman. And I want a woman strong enough and that can nurture a child where she might feel she'll turn on me, but she's helping.
So what you
That's all.
basically described is that ass whooping can be a good form
I
of
mean,
affection.
you gotta just keep on going back to it. You know,
Hey.
we ain't advocating
Hold on.
what happened to my
Hold
ass.
on.
But I'm gonna tell you, I gave it up, and
Now,
I
watch
gave
this.
it for
Let
a
me ask you-
reason.
let me ask you a
Because
question.
I grew in a positive way when I didn't have an understanding. Remember, this
Let me
whole
ask you a
thing
question.
was an understanding. She gave me the understanding what I didn't
So,
understand. then.
which leads right to my question.
What's
Are
that?
you grateful for some of those ass whoopings?
Now, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I want to say, hell no, I ain't want that ass whooping. I didn't.
Listen, in hindsight, can
Yes,
you see that some of
yes,
those
yes.
changed your mind?
Yes, it did.
Some of
I
those,
didn't want to admit it.
some of
I
those
did.
changed your direction.
The reason why, you didn't never want to get caught. See, one of the things people don't understand, my action was my action. I thought it was good at the time. When she told me up, I'm telling you, I didn't see it at that time.
Yeah.
I thought what I did was good. And there's no reason for her to beat me because of that. I thought it was a good thing. I
Yeah.
acted like a class clown. She wanted, I'm making people laugh now, mama. Now what? You gonna trip on me now?
Listen,
But my whole
listen,
thing is, you know something? She is right because I stopped a situation of learning for doing something that I thought was natural. But she said, no, you need to get education first. But I felt like I wanted to see people in a better state.
Yeah, and before she gave you the education, she got your attention.
No, yeah, she sure did.
Yeah, she
And
got your
that
Listen,
attention,
listen,
that hurt it, Kraft.
I'm trying to make a point here, right?
I can't tell you.
Let's keep the focus on relationship. We got to take a break here in just a moment. But I like
Go
where
back
we're
to
going,
relationship. Where we
right?
at?
So we're in a relationship with somebody who keeps lying,
Mhm.
and maybe they're lying about the money,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah,
they
that could be a
spend too
problem.
much, they misappropriated, whatever the case
Mhm.
may be. That we can forgive them, but we can't keep allowing our bag to have a hole in it. And so now, part of my affection might be that I take control of the finances because I have to, right? It's too tight, perhaps, and in most families' lives, it's too tight for me to allow this to happen. So it's kind of a reverse action of affection that, yeah, I got to hold this person accountable now. I got to hold them more accountable. And even though I love them, I'm going to, I'm going to take these controls, and they're going to be mad with me, and they, might not want to speak to me. They'll get over it, But sometimes you got to teach grown folks things, even though you don't want to. And that's not easy, right? Because you have to do it lovingly.
That's right. But you try to do it like
Yeah.
my mom, we got a problem now.
Yeah.
I'm a whole lot bigger now, player.
And nowadays you wake up with some grits in your face. Right? We don't teach that way in the world. You don't put your
You better
hands
not
on
do no
people.
grits either.
Right?
That's what I'm trying-
You don't put your hands on people or nothing like that.
That's
but,
right.
you know
No
what I'm
grits, none of that.
saying? Right.
You better learn a better way of
What I'm saying is,
communicating.
if you put your hands on her, she ain't trying to.
No,
take
I'm
that.
just saying
She
you ain't
trying
gonna
to
beat on me like that. That's all I'm saying. Because you think you freaky. You ain't, I told you earlier now, I ain't with all that. I'm just saying.
Where are you going with the conversation?
I'm just saying, my man,
Hey, listen, folks, let's take another break and regroup.
Why?
We're so glad you're
I
with
ain't
us.
with it.
We hope you enjoyed the show. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
are back with Bar Talk with Jay. One thing I want to tell you, during the break, we had a great drink special tonight. My bartender gave me a great drink. One of the things I want to tell you about this drink, only way you can ever taste it, you can come on over here. That's right, with Jay. Jay will give you this, but again, you got to drink responsibly and you got to be of age of 21.
There you go.
And again, one of the things we do is we don't advocate just drinking or pushing anything of that nature, but one of the things we try to tell you is pour it out. We want to make sure you're comfortable and make sure you're not nervous, because if you are, you probably won't tell.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to tell me a lie. I can't help a lie. But what I can do is help you when you want to open up.
Yeah.
That's what we do over here. So one of the things I want to do next is I want to bring on somebody. Now this person right here, I don't know how his day went. And I'm going to tell y'all something right now. This day didn't go good. Your day might not go good either. So I want to find out how his day went. Jeffrey, how you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, Brother Crab, how's it going, fellas?
Mm-hmm. It's all right over here.
Yeah, we doing good, bro.
We
doing
worried
good.
about you.
We got a studio full of people, man. It's almost like a big time setting here tonight. Wish you could be with us, man, but we are so glad that you are with us. So, how was your day today, my friend?
Oh man, it was hot as hell today. Traffic was bad as hell today, but my granddaughter still loves me, and you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Man, oh my goodness, it's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view.
Yes.
Now I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single, but before we get into that, here is my disclaimer.
Okay.
Now, see, what I'm going to talk about might not apply to you, if it doesn't apply to you, and I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes, because you're about to learn something tonight. Ladies, you go first.
All right.
Ladies, some of y'all are single simply because you hide behind your children. I need you to understand what I'm saying. Now, ladies, you are supposed to take care of your children. You're supposed to love on your children, but you're not supposed to hide behind your children. I'm a mother now, I got to take care of my children. No. What you got to understand is you have to participate in a relationship that sets the best environment for your children. And sometimes that means saving a little bit of energy to have a relationship. Now, don't get me twisted. No man comes before your children except for the right man, and that right man accepts you and your children. Don't get it twisted. A man can want to be your husband, but you letting your kids come in between and manipulate the relationship. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Make sure, ladies, that you have that right man, you have the right structure in place so that he can come in and make your job a little bit easier. But hiding behind your kids, using them as an excuse, is just a defense mechanism and happens to be keeping your ass single.
For a mighty long time. Okay.
Long time, yeah.
So you had a rough day.
So we very rarely have talked about moving into the lives of someone who have children, and some of the struggles there. But yeah, we do know many of women. I've met many of women who
Me too.
Just cannot have a relationship because they're not available, really, right? They're somewhat hiding behind their children, right? When you're in a relationship, you have to have some availability. You have to have some attentiveness outside of your home. You have to plan, for babysitters, and you got to spend money to have relationships. You got to go out to have relationships. And if you hide behind your children, the relationship will never come. Right. And so for those of you those ladies who have been hiding behind their children, you need to figure out some way to kind of get out of the routine so that you can make some time and space available for somebody to love you.
I agree, but listen to the words, hide behind the children. You use the children as a shield. That means they've been injured or hurt.
Perhaps.
So they put something else in front of them. So they put their kids, because that's what you normally want to do. You want to put something else important up front. But please understand, it goes back to self again, right? Because again, through all hurt, when you understand pain, you got to release. A child can't release what you already know you can't. And that's where I feel like a lot of times they everything offsets. And if you can't use your own to offset your pain, that's your pain. You got to understand, you got to go through it. You can't just use somebody else. And I see it a lot. But I don't want them to go through this. What you went through is not necessarily what they're going to go through.
Right.
I can't say they didn't see it,
right,
but they don't have to go through it. But when you accept, you can move on in a different way. And that's not always what happens.
Yeah.
When now the reason I'm talking about this is from the dating aspect. And I've dated some people that had complex. They had kids, baby kids, all kind of different damn kids.
Really?
And everybody that dated know they get some hellions out there now. I'm telling you right now. You know, you gotta watch yourself. You know, you ain't talking about they ready for something. You ain't even got your damn kid right. You know what I'm talking? I'm ready for her. Not without. No, you need to just chill the hell out and wait a while. You need to pray over it. Talking about you need something good. You need a taser. Get that boy right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, everybody's somewhat different. And again, and this is our jokes out fun. Because again, I'm gonna have to love on that one just like I would love on anybody else because I want the best for anybody I would deal
There you
with.
go.
In the building tonight, I got T. T is my adopted child, okay? From a person I dated. And again, in that relationship, I grew with her. I got a friendship with now I call my son because I didn't want to leave no child behind, okay? So when me and his mom stopped talking, I've never ignored, nor would I ever. Because when you are put on earth to encourage, you start with people that's around you.
There you go. There you go.
People you date, you just don't turn your back on people that might need you. So again, the encouragement I give him and the respect he gives me back now only gives me more encouragement to do more.
There you go.
Because I impacted somebody that shows me all the time how he cares for me, how he loves me, and how he said he was gonna make sure he was here. He becomes a man of his word.
There you go.
And that's what I love about when we make positive influence. And this is way before the show.
Yeah.
This is just about you becoming a better person.
Yeah. And with that, let's hand it back over to Brother Jeffrey.
All right, Jeffrey, I'm sorry. I just took over my bad. Go ahead.
No worries, brothers. Yo. So, fellas, don't think I'm letting you off the hook, fellas. You are next.
Yeah, I'll try.
Fellas, some of you are single simply because you looking for a mama. You're not looking for a wife or a woman. You looking for somebody that's going to take care of you and provide for you instead of you getting up off your ass and making some things happen. You looking for a woman to take off of as opposed to caring for. You looking for a woman that will provide for you because right now you looking for help. Fellas, I need you to understand there's something inside of you that only you can go and claim, and that's your manhood, your masculinity. That strength that only we bring to the table. Don't get it twisted, ladies. You strong, but I'm talking about a different type of strength. Man, when you tap into that strength, it causes you to walk a little different. It causes you to talk a little different. When you walk into the room, once you tap into that strength, that room shifts around a little different because they know a man just walked in on that ass. So what I need you to do, fellas, is stop looking for your mother out here in these streets. Look for your masculinity and your manhood, and you will not be able to stop a good woman from coming to you and coming in different ways as well. But I need you to understand, failure to tap into your masculinity will leave your ass dependent and single.
For a mighty long time. Jerry, I can definitely tell you there ain't no shoes I can talk about. Appreciate you, my brother. All the ones he's talking about, you got some work to do.
It takes a long time for a man to understand that his mama is not his soulmate. The type of woman that his mama is not necessarily what he needs or even wants in his own life. And some men have major issues with that, right? They're looking for their mama. They're looking for somebody to treat them just like their mother did, and all their mother ever did was enable them, right? Making them think that a woman's place is only in the house or in the kitchen. Making them think perhaps a woman is always got to be subservient, or the mother can't be a part of the leadership of the family. That's none of that's the case, man. You really got to get out and find what's for you, and I think that's a hard one to do. There's a phenomenon going on here in Atlanta for sure. Women are taking a lot of men out nowadays.
Take him out.
Taking them out, paying for meals, paying for the show, taking them on trips.
Hold on,
I know several men who
break that up. Hold on.
See, your problem is your mama didn't enable you.
I don't know, but she needed to. Hold on. If y'all out there doing that, boy, hey, Jay hungry. What you talking about? Man, I was out there working all day. Listen, Y'all can just cash at me. I'll take myself if you want to.
Are you-
But bottom line
Be in
is,
the right circles, Jay?
am I what, sir? I don't know. I'm always working. I always got a dream. I got a vision. I'm not waiting on somebody to do for me.
Right, and that's
I've
the
been
right-
doing for me for a very long time.
That's the right
My
way to
mom
be.
taught me early on, you wait for somebody else, you're going to be missed. My mama told me there's a fire, you better say something.
Yeah.
So I'm telling y'all better say something. You're going to be burnt.
Yeah, yeah.
Get moving. Quit waiting. If a woman want to take a man out, don't get me wrong. I'm not judging. I am not tripping. If that's what she want to do, out of kindness, respect, or that's just what she want to do, whatever. I'm just saying, a brother like you too.
Yeah.
So if that's what they like to do, I am down with. I ain't gonna say anything gonna come from it. I mean, don't think a meal gonna get you. Listen, this real here. I'm just
So,
trying.
listen to me.
You ain't gonna be no steak and shake either.
Point well taken.
All right, I'm just saying.
We're going to hand it back to you, my friend.
All right, now, men and women, I need y'all to understand something. There's something out there for us that's meant just for us, that's designed just for us, that will allow us to prosper. The problem is, we just won't go and get it. It's time for us to go and get it. And what we got to go and get is our community. Getting our community means that in the face of division, we throw all that to the side. In the face of acrimony, we throw that all to the side. In the face of I need this and you did this and name blaming and all that stuff, we throw all that stuff aside and we sacrifice our egos for the community. We got to go get it. Jay said, my mama said, you waiting on somebody else, you'll be waiting forever. I'm paraphrasing. We've been waiting on other people for too long to give us what we need and what we were born with that we already got on the inside. They just taught us not to believe in it. So I'm going to leave you with this. There is no greater thing that we can do for ourselves than to do for ourselves. Men, we got to do for ourselves so we can take something to our women that they can partner with. And women, you got to be you have to be open to partnering with us because, quite frankly, we all we got. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to rebuild our community. Because when we rebuild our communities, our kids have a place that they can prosper. And once our children can prosper, they grow up and they go on and they advance the things that we put in place. And once we do those things, man, we're going to be completely unstoppable. And that's all I got.
He said that's all he got. Man up through the mic down,
That is
stepped
a
on some folks.
mouthful right there, my friend. I love how you say, man, we got to go and get it. And what we got to go and get is our community. Sacrifice our egos and do for ourselves. I don't think there are any more powerful words that can be said on such a note. Go ahead.
I just wanted to thank the brother on the phone. I don't know if I've heard you do your spiel many a times before, many a conversations, but I got a 3-part series called Respect, and it's just the same as what you was just telling. So I just wanted to tell you I appreciate your mind on that one, my brother.
All right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And love holding it down with you, fellas. Love holding it down with you.
Yeah, man.
All right, man.
You just bring so much to the table. Quickly, we just as we close out here, we're talking tonight about what is the real meaning of love and affection. You have anything to impart on that subject?
Well, absolutely. If you want to know if somebody loves you, you just simply look at how they treat you because love is a verb. Love isn't a noun, love is a verb. It's what I do, it's what I am, it's what I do for you. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, if you have to guess if somebody loves you, if you can't start to write down things and think about things that people do for you and to you and with you, if that doesn't make you feel some type of way, it could be you. You could be off a little bit because you could just be an ungrateful old curmudgeon. But I want you to understand, if somebody isn't doing anything, if they have empty promises, if they have no or low activity, it's very possible that they don't love you. But if they are bringing a lot to the table, if they're pouring into you and they're investing time in you, well, if you don't recognize that, that could be a you thing. Love is a verb. It's all about action. And if you don't see the action, well, you might be the only person in love in that damn relationship.
Okay. Did anybody hear that? Did anybody?
Man, you are so strong. You are so strong.
Hit him upside the head, Jeffrey. Bam! I feel like the Flintstones. You took
Listen,
it back.
you know, in light of the subject, man, he's right on point. Let me just close out here. We want to thank you, Brother Jeffrey, for being with us. Man, I tell you what, you always bring it so strong, man. We love it. We love what you do. Anything you'd like to share with us before we get out of here?
Oh man, next week I will be out of the country, so I won't be able to make the show.
Okay.
But as soon as I'm back in town, man, you know I'll be back on board with you, fellas.
We already
I
know
got
what
you,
time
brother.
it is, man. Listen, we thank you again. We appreciate you. Have a safe trip, my friend. And we'll talk to you week after next.
All right, y'all take it easy, fellas.
All
Yeah,
right.
man.
And it's time for us to take another break. Y'all stay tuned with us. This last portion of the show, I think we got 2 more segments. We really go in on the subject. There's several things I want to introduce regarding love and affection because it's a much deeper subject than we've always given credit for. And very rarely do we have any discussions about it. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Talk with Jay. Jay, trying to wrap this segment up, wrap this show up, huh?
That was super cool.
What? You listen to Sonny Heard, huh?
Like, we've been on TV forever.
What? We've been doing this for a while. That's right, sweet Jesus.
Yes.
They don't know nothing about this, girl.
Don't know nothing about this.
And
Man,
you know my name, Anissa.
That need, well, no, you're sweet Jesus
It
over here.
means affectionate friend. That's what it
Ah.
means.
Right next to sweet Jesus.
okay,
Cause I ain't lying. When you holler out sweet Jesus, that's affectionate to the fullest.
right?
yeah.
So,
Y'all call for Jesus?
all the time.
Okay. I ain't know how y'all respond.
Yeah,
you know,
listen.
y'all act like y'all bougie.
But
up
don't
here.
make me call for sweet Jesus.
Well, you might not have had none of that. If you had sweet Jesus, there's a call for it.
My eyes are rolled back in my head or something. I
Oh,
don't
you
know,
just don't know when your toes roll. You just don't know.
So tonight, folks, we are talking about what is the real meaning of love and affection. And I want to cover some items here. How to give people your full attention, right? Giving people your attention is a part of the affection, right? And so here's a big one, right? Anticipate their needs. Anticipate your spouse or significant other's needs. You know when they run out of their favorite coffee. You know when when they're due for a nice trip to a restaurant or due out. You know when they had a lot of stress going on that week. You know these things, and so you should, in understanding those needs, find a way to cater to them.
Now, are you attracting needy when you do stuff like that?
It's not like you trying to get them whooped.
You could be.
You do all that, boy, they gonna be whooped as hell.
You could be, but I know that
You have some
if
stalkers.
she's having a stressful week, I want to try to do something to alleviate that stress.
Right, in moderation.
Good, thank you.
Like,
A whole lot of moderation. You gonna talk some
because
stalkers.
it really does incite or ignite a form of neediness and a form of control on your end for your ability to be like, I'm not going to do this anymore for whatever reason.
Right.
It could be a petty reason or it could be a big reason,
Right.
but it gives you that amount of control and
Because they start to expect it. Is that what
Right, and it made me nervous because I don't want to do all that.
So every time he gets ready to travel, she get his suits clean. You know what I mean? And then after the dozenth time, he's like, "Why you get my suits clean?" She's like, "Wait a minute, that ain't my job. That's just something I do for you. That's just So it can bring forms of neediness,
It's also a form of disrespect.
right?
Feeling like you gotta do it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
where it stops. Because I'm
That's
like,
what- that's
I
what-
did it because I love you. See,
Right.
love is unconditional.
Right.
I did it because I just loved you.
Right.
I didn't do it to win you over. I didn't do it for no other reason that I see that's what's needed.
Yeah, and I think a great point here is that if you misinterpret a person's love and affection for you, it will come against you. It will
Ooh,
work.
say it again.
It will work against you in one form or another. How about this?
What's that?
Let them know that you're listening to them.
that's important.
That's very important, right? Sometimes, and men know this all too well, sometimes we got to get ourselves out of the way so that we can pay attention to her, right? Well, our struggles, our things, whatever we have, especially in a family, and you come home and you know, when you come home, there's lots of things still to get done, and there's lots of things that didn't get done.
Right.
Maybe mama needs some attention, right? You got to let them know that you're listening to them.
You are so right, because when I was married, it sounded like womp, 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 womp. Now, any man say they don't understand what the hell I'm saying, they're lying. Because a lot of times you get repetitive and you're not listening, because again, you choose to.
Yeah, and it's
Mindset.
yeah, and you know there's an art/science to listening to people. You know, some people they can just be rambling on you, but yeah, oh really, oh okay, baby, yeah, and you don't really pay attention. But then you got some women who come back and say, "You remember what I said yesterday?"
Hell no. Did you say something? Was you even here? No, you ain't hearing no shit.
Maybe you wasn't listening to me. You wasn't listening to what I said yesterday.
Half the time I
There are
am.
people who
I
listen
told
to
you
just
about
certain
him.
words.
Yeah, huh?
There are people who just listen to certain words.
Yeah, like you ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
said all this about what you need to do, and you do this. You ready to go to bed? Yep.
No, but when someone rambles on, people catch one word, and that's how they try to show that
Yeah.
they're listening.
Yeah.
But if their intention is to actually listen, then they should listen.
Yeah. Right,
And
and-
not listen to talk, but listen to
But
actually
if they,
understand.
Yes,
but they
listen.
grab that one word, it's just shut your ass up. It's,
Yeah, listen, the key-
I heard you.
the key to-
I heard that one thing.
The key to listening is that you start to feel what they feel, right? That don't mean that don't mean that you're really vested in what they're saying to you. You can experience the emotions that they're expressing as a result of whatever they're saying, right? And so if somebody's talking about their boss, you can
He
sense it.
ain't that deep.
No, I'm just saying. Now, when you hear stuff, you gravitate to some of the things. But when you truly listen, you listen to everything. My biggest problem that I learned a long time ago is I was judgmental and I was listening and I wanted to listen to what I wanted to hear instead of just hearing everything. One of the best things you could ever do is stop being judgmental and hear it all out instead of being quick to. If you ever want to argue with a person, you say one key thing that pissed me off. That's all I'm gonna hear. Okay? But you said so many other things that I can give a better debate when I hear it all. But you pissed me off with that one thing. It shuts me down
It shuts you
and
off.
focus me
Yeah.
on what I'm gonna give you back on that one thing.
Yeah.
And you could have gave me so many other things that could have been a turn in what I was thinking, but I didn't hear it.
Right.
That's a choice.
And
And
listen,
that's what we do, unfortunately, by bad habits of realizing we're judgmental. You know, I don't like how you. So in other words, they had other things to say, but they started with "I don't like." So you gonna get on
And listening is not an easy thing because sometimes your spouse or significant other is talking about things that you really don't want to talk about. You really don't want to hear. I've experienced on numerous occasions listening to somebody and they're telling me a very negative story. Not really something I want to hear right now. Not, you know, and my thinking the whole time that they're talking is, come on, man, step it up. You know, step it up. Hey, listen, forget about all that nonsense. Let's move on. Let's move on. But in an effort to be empathetic, I listen anyway sometimes, right? Especially in love relationships. Well, you know,
no, I want to know how the hell that turned out.
but
Because you know how you really feel. I want to know when you took the time to listen to all that shit. How did you really feel? Don't you cut the
well,
mustard?
see, that's an interesting question because I only listen to make them feel better. Not only, but I'm listening for them because I really don't want to hear that shit. But I'm listening. I'm listening.
Let's telling the truth.
I'm being real with you. Right? Listen, this is a real relationship. They're saying some stuff about their boss and about work that you like, hey, get over it. We all got these problems. You know, you've been there before. When you tell them about the same problem 3 years ago, that's what I'm thinking.
Right.
But they need to be heard and understood. So I'm doing it for them. My show of affection is listening to something that I don't really want to listen to. And it's because of what they need to say, how they need to express themselves. They need to feel heard and understood. And that's the whole sum of the story.
Does that make you alone?
It's not me.
No.
No, it doesn't make it. It just makes me empathetic.
Yes, exactly.
It makes me sympathetic
It
and
does.
empathetic. We don't want to necessarily be sympathetic, but well, certainly.
But it is.
Right.
Because at that time, I'm giving up myself to listen to what I don't care for, but I care enough for you to do it. So
Yeah.
I applaud you.
Yeah.
Because I have a hard time doing it sometimes.
Yeah, I don't. I listen.
Well, really, it heals them because they need to hear it from themselves. A lot of times, they just need to talk.
And
And
some-
if you don't get them to talk, they won't hear themselves.
And listen, Let me tell you, I've had on numerous occasions where people, I just give them an opportunity to talk, they will almost start to talk themselves out of the stuff that they're talking about. If you'll just listen long enough and don't interrupt them, they'll come to a place where they're like, you know what? I probably could be more positive about this.
Right.
But you know what? It is a good job. And you know, man, he did give me my vacation time off. And they'll come to that point because they'll start to realize,
ain't that bad.
self-realize that they're really just talking negative. Right? But if you join in the company, he did what? And all that other stuff, now you're buying into it and they are feeling heard and understood at that point. But now you're both waddling in the negative.
Oh, that's what I be doing wrong. Okay, my
Right?
bad.
How about this? Making eye contact with people.
Why?
You making eye contact is a show of affection. If she's telling you something or showing you
What
something,
if she ugly?
give her your attention.
I mean, she ugly as
Well, you're
hell.
married to it now, Jay.
I mean, but hell, I'm married to an ugly ass person. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. She be eyeballing me.
Yeah.
And then she cockeyed it. And like she always looking at
Hey,
You know.
hey, well, you knew that a long time ago.
Yeah, I know. For a long time, I had problems.
Yeah.
She made me start looking at
How about
people
give him a hug?
Hell, I don't even know what she looking at. Well, I don't even know how to hug her. It ain't like she go see it. I'm wrong. My bad.
Oh, bro, you're so wrong, right?
I'm so sorry.
A
I still love
hug
you.
is a meaningful difference. It's almost like touch. It
Okay.
can make a huge difference.
Okay.
If somebody's telling you something, just walk up and hug them. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to, you don't have to do anything, but just put your arms around them. And the feeling of a hug is a sign that you care.
What if she musty?
Keep your mouth closed. That's your wife.
I mean, she still musty. Shit, I should tell her,
Buy
right?
some done.
I mean-
This gonna be your show of affection. Take her to the shower.
Yeah, exactly. I bet you don't hug her. You wallow that behind
Take her
her.
to the shower and tune up,
That's right.
and then she'll show you some affection.
That's right.
Right?
But you don't hug her.
Yeah.
You pass out.
Yeah. How about thank them sometime?
Not for being musty.
You know,
Not for being musty, player. I ain't doing
in
it.
a relationship, there are many things that your significant other are bringing into your life. There are many good things. Sometimes it's just company. It could be money and finance. It could be that you gave them a chance, a family. You could give them an opportunity to find their passion and do their career. Whatever that happens to be, thank them. That is a show of affection. That is a sign that you care, right? Tell them that they're beautiful or handsome. Pour into them. Tell them, hey, wait, are those new earrings? Is that a new color lipstick? Did you fix your hair differently? Is that a new outfit? Find a way to pour into them, right? Here's one that's kind of extreme.
Okay, what's that one?
Send a letter. Right?
Oh, do you like me?
Yeah.
Yes or no? I did that a long time ago.
Men are not big with cards and stuff
I know,
like that.
yes or no. I'm
So,
saying that stuff still
If
works.
you take the time
Send a
to
text.
write out a letter or a card to someone, that is super special, man. One of the most special things that has ever happened to me in my life was I went on a business trip, and my ex-wife, she used to help me pack my bags, and I had a couple suits on this trip. And I'm out Saturday night on this trip, and I reach into my pocket, and there's a note. There's a little handwritten note.
What is that?
I'm thinking about you, baby. And then I reach in another pocket, and there's another note. And another pocket, and there's another note. And there's like 8 notes inside of this jacket, man.
So-
Listen, I was so full that night. You know what I mean? That just each one of those messages just touched me in a special way, because obviously she was my wife at the time. So,
Right.
So she was pouring into me. And she had taken the time to write out these messages that really only her and I would know how special they are.
Right.
And one of them was, kind of our joke. So it's all about effort. It's all about effort. Love and affection
So
is all about effort.
When I
Right?
went on that trip and I came back and I had a bunch of notes in my pocket that she didn't write.
Yeah. Well,
That's probably why I'm divorced.
Yeah.
God damn it, y'all need to get it right,
Well,
okay?
listen,
Because it's all about
listen,
pouring into, not pouring out
if
of.
you're gonna be a cheater, you got to learn how to hide affection.
They put it in my pocket. Did you not hear me say they put it in my? Obviously, I was good that night to somebody,
Well,
but they
here's what
set me up. That was a setup.
Here go the
bro.
other thing. Check your pockets where you go home.
I didn't think about that, bro.
Pull out your bag. Check all your pockets where you go home.
They slid it in, bro.
You
That happened.
You ain't a good cheater, man.
Nobody told y'all I was good at it. I just told you I did it.
You
Yeah.
need one woman, man. listen, simple things like asking how their day is and really paying attention to the answer, right? Telling them that you love them.
Right.
And telling them that you love them may not necessarily be with words. It may just be with you preparing dinner for that night, or you thinking of, hey, baby, I was thinking about taking you to this concert, or whatever. Be proactive in your love, and you'll be expressing all kinds of affection. If you're not proactive, then affection doesn't come from you. Your spouse isn't feeling it. They aren't getting it. You haven't touched her ass in 3 years.
Okay, grab them. I'm talking about.
Right?
Rub it down.
That's a little effort, right?
Yeah, a whole lot of effort. That cough.
Listen, she prepared you a nice meal 2-3 nights a week.
That's what
One
I'm
night
talking
you gonna walk up and just put your arms around her and say, damn, boy, you make a difference in my life.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my dog.
You don't know nothing about love, man.
Boy, I do. It's close to lust. Yes, I do.
No, it ain't close to love.
Hey, you supposed to lust after your one you look at.
You're supposed to lust after
That's
the one
right.
you love.
Because see, that's
Absolutely.
when lust is not that
Yeah.
negative.
But lust is only a cheap affection.
What
Right?
you mean cheap? It ain't nothing cheap. No, I
That's a cheap
spent.
affection.
It wasn't cheap.
Listen,
Cheap is what I do what I don't
a
love.
warm hug and a real moving touch is way deeper than just lusting at her.
Well, truthfully,
she's not gonna feel your lust necessarily.
Being honest with you, I can mentally touch you without ever feeling you.
Right.
I don't have to put my hands on you like what you say. When I can stimulate you because I know you.
Yeah.
That's that chemistry that
Right.
you want to build. But
Knowing
again,
a person,
some people
that's
feel
good.
like I got to do a physical. And that's why that lust goes more on that way.
Yeah.
When you can really get a person mentally by telling them what you're going to do before you ever do it. And that's like that note that
Yeah.
she put in you.
Yeah.
It is to keep you mindful
Yeah.
when you're not around, to be around.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Or she gets your, she gets your favorite beverage when she goes to the grocery store. That's one thing. But as little as that is, it is a strong show of affection, especially in relationships where, life can always be topsy turvy. We can be arguing, but
Right.
I brought you your favorite beverage home, or
She
I
got
brought
me-
you your favorite dinner home
She got
tonight.
me when I didn't even know I needed. See, that's where it changes the table because your favorite beverage, that's something that says, no, when I went to go get my deodorant and I know I was running low and I see a whole nother one.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
This person never wanted me to run out of what she know I need.
Right. And listen,
And I didn't even know I needed it
like
like that
that.
because I wasn't out.
I like
See what I'm
that.
saying?
So-
she keeping me prepared
yes.
for what I
Yes.
already need to
And
be.
listen, so the point here is that affection doesn't have to be some way out thing. Affection can be expressions of
Deodorant.
love through
You know,
daily
it
things,
must-
right? It could be a double-edged sword while she bought
it
your
can-
deodorant.
yeah,
you know what I'm
because
saying?
it will mess the whole night up.
First
You
of
know
all,
what I'm saying?
the one-
Before you get started, you must.
The one you had was deodorant. She bought you antiperspirant.
No, that's all anti.
She tried to keep you fresh because the deodorant wear off. You know what I'm saying?
It can, but that's why I start with Coast. Y'all need to use some real soap.
Yeah. It is just about time for us to close out the show. Any comments from any in the house on
so much fun.
No, you guys did such a great
On
job.
affection.
today.
No,
Yeah.
we like you, sweet Jesus. Tell us about yourself.
Really good.
There's not a lot of shows that you'll hear a genuine dialogue about love and encouraging love.
And happiness.
That's what we are all about here. And love and even affection is not always an easy thing, especially when you're in a relationship where there's a lot of argument and turmoil and disagreement. But any level or any sign of affection that you can show your significant other helps the equation. And not only does it help them, it will help you too. And so don't hold back those blessings. I'm of the notion, to some degree, this is not an extreme idea,
What is it,
but
man?
even if I don't like the person I'm in love with, even if they upset me by doing something, this, that, and the other,
Mhm.
I'm not going to stop pouring love into them, because their behavior is changing who I am. And if I'm a giving person, I want to continue to be a giving person, and I'm going to give to them through their nonsense. That is a show of real love, and that is probably some of the most genuine affection that you can ever have in a relationship.
I totally agree. But don't expect that shit through me. I'm gonna tell you all day long. If you ain't giving, and listen, it's gonna be a two-way street.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight a fight that I ain't gonna be fighting with. You
See,
know,
it's
just-
so easy to give up, Jay.
No, it's not.
Everybody wanna
No.
give up on
First of
relationships.
all, it's not. I ain't talking about that. I said that's why I date. See, y'all so quick about this
We
relationship.
talk about relationships.
No, you
and
are.
love.
I ain't. You are you, and I am me. We gonna talk about two different things to help everybody understand. We don't always have to agree, but can we understand? We can be in different places, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with a relationship. We have that understanding with one, and that's where you want to be. If you dating, I would tell anybody you date to eliminate, but you date with the understanding that you can't control. You don't have to lie. You can be truthful, and I promise you, being truthful does not come back all that great. I promise you. But the one thing you gotta be is confident in yourself. No matter where you at, in your state of mind, be confident in you, love you, and give the best you to receive something that you might not even want to achieve.
Yeah,
Because what
that's
she
important.
gonna do, when she see the true you, will give you the true her. We send representatives. Because I don't know what I'm getting either. When I hire somebody, I promise you I hire so many different, and I ain't talking about my people over there at Dispose, but I'm kind of talking about some of the people I hired at Dispose. They sent representatives. I'm going to get through whatever you see. Because I know me, and I know what my vision is and what I'm aligning to. And don't think they're going to be there long. If you got a vision and a purpose, then you understand where you're going, then why are you playing? How I do my business is how I do my life.
Yeah,
So
and
when
that-
I'm with somebody and it don't align, I'm not gonna keep entertaining and pouring into you, and I know it ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not giving up. I'm making change
Yes,
because
yes,
again,
that's a good point.
there is marriages that happen when families. This is way before everybody start falling in love and all this stuff. Families took their best girl and married to a best family that they already perceive would do goods, and then they pass goods along with that marriage, and that marriage lasts. No, okay, it was an alignment with the families early on, and them marriages lasted. So now when I hear about people lusting after the one that they love, and they fail, and we wonder where the hell it went. It wasn't even written how we talking, and then we wonder why we so confused. We took so much, we went through so much, and we ain't having a dialogue. We are purposely doing damage to ourselves, each other. That's why he keeps saying, and that's Jeffrey, we need to come back as a community and talk right, be right, because we was misled.
There you go.
We've been lied to and still following a lie.
And run them up.
Tooth, fairy,
Yeah.
and every damn thing else that y'all want to keep saying
All right.
and ain't doing nothing different.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why we got the problems we got.
Yeah.
Let's do better. Let's understand. And understand was the key point the whole night.
There you go.
And then you will do something different when
I
you
think,
understand
yeah,
something different.
understanding is the key point of the night. Love and affection takes some understanding, and some forgiveness, and some patience, and some overlooking. Don't hinder pouring out love just because you might be upset. Pouring out that love just might help you. Just might help you tomorrow, even though it may not be seen by the person who you're trying to love. So this has been our episode of Bar Talk with Jay tonight. We hope you found some value in our discussion. It was an intriguing discussion, and some stuff I haven't discussed in a long time.
Got me sweating.
So I hope you found some value in it. Continue to watch us and follow us. Again, we're all over the internet. Bar Talk with Jay. You can find us at just about any pod media online. And share us, like us, subscribe. Share us, like us, subscribe.
Yes.
And of course, we're Facebook Live every Thursday from 7 to 9. Continue to come and join us. Send it to your friends and family. And just keep receiving the love that we're trying to pour out. Just trying to be a family with you. And with that, folks, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.